Hello there, everyone. It's Anirl, your key to the past of Simplex. I'm here on Simplex 2 to answer one question. What would it take to revive the collection? Now, I'm sure there's somebody that doesn't even know about this place, so I will give you some basics. The collection definitely deserves its own video, but giving the basics for at least the origins will have to do. And, what's the purpose of this place? So, it was started back in 2019 by a player under the name of Dimensional Duck. His right hand man was That Minecraft Cat, although they're called Hello Cat nowadays. There was also Alistair, and then there was me. Under us would be all of the collection staff. And the primary goal of the collection is to gather everything. It started off with just a library, with Dimensional Duck just collecting player written books, and then he expanded. What he started collecting and started to include map art, items, not only just common items, but like rare admin created items. There's also like player skulls. I think I mentioned map art already. Player created banners. There's like a wing here for join dates. We have a wing here for like all types of like leather armor. We got a zoo here. This would be for every single mob in the game. And then, of course, this nether portal takes you to all the nether mobs. We got a map display. Not to be confused with the map art display. This would be showing like players' bases, event areas. In this case, the shopping district. Stuff like that. Yeah, like this displays every single item in the game, starting at version 1 release, going all the way up to now. And then, of course, there's the staff wing. Upstairs would be the world map. So it's a map of the entire world. Although not really, we'll get to that. Also upstairs is a biome display and a generated structure display. So there were players assigned to every single one of these. And then, of course, there was us on top. Yeah, with this video, I just want to give you an idea of what it would take for someone to become the new owner of this place, with the title The Collector. I can only really give you an idea, but it's a start. I'm sure I can't cover everything, but again, I can just start with this. So if I type /trust list, you can see that it's owned by a administrator. This is a catch-all, I wouldn't say account, but the collection is basically owned by the server staff at the moment. Although that's not entirely true. This board says otherwise. Apparently it's still owned by Hello Cat, with Alistair as the assistant, and then me still as the co-owner. Yeah, what this should be is just Alistair as the owner of the collection, and then me still as co-owner. Just us two. But that's not the case. And the reason why I think this is under a administrator claim is because it's gonna take staff involvement to become a new owner. Whether that be me, or you, dear viewer, Who knows? Who knows? But if it's going to take staff involvement, that means you'd have to go through them to, get claims transferred and more. But I bet staff are holding on to this for, I think, one simple reason. There's a lot of admin created items and other sensitive things that simply shouldn't be in many players' hands. Like, I believe this is the majority of the dragon eggs that, like, on Simplex, like, period. Obviously, you don't want somebody that's untrustworthy taking these for themselves or, selling them, trading them, whatever. But there's other things like this cat with... I mean, obviously, you can't get something like this in survival. Same thing with this. Yeah. Pretty sure... Wait, can you... whatever. Potion with everything, apparently. An empty book. Like, you can't create this as a player. Like, no way. Like, we have an enchanted stick here. Like, this map is enchanted. And funnily enough, it's the first map ever created on Simplex. Yeah, it's just stuff like this that's one of a kind. Like the prize for the first ever build competition. Like, you wouldn't want to give this to someone that can't be trusted. Like, who knows what they're going to do with it? Like, Bedrock? Like, giving players Bedrock? Like, that's insane. I mean, it's only one piece, but still. So yeah, I feel like to become an owner of this place, you would have to earn staff's trust. Or perhaps become staff yourself. I think another prerequisite would be an interest in Simplex culture, which not many players have. It was very strong with Duck, and of course he's no longer with us. Although he has checked in a few times. But he never comes back to, take over the collection again and, start things back up again. I truly think he's gone and he's not returning. To, like, stay and play permanently, stuff like that. So yeah, the new owner would definitely have to have an interest in history and things like that. On top of being trustworthy, and I think having strong leadership and organization skills. Because obviously, this definitely took a lot of thought to, organize all the wings, and, for leadership, I definitely think you would have to have the charisma to, approach people, get people acquainted with, like, their roles for, like, let's say I wanted to put someone in charge of, like, the map art display. What would they be doing? You'd have to be responsible for, like, training them up for, how to handle map art donations. In terms of staff, there is some players on Simplex 2 that are still kind of employed here. I believe, well, I'm still the co-owner. I think Cager Mobile is still in charge of the skull display. Alistair, he's part of the library. I know I'm assigned to the join date wing, the join date timeline, because I actually was responsible for creating this. Yeah, for all the collection staff members, you'd have to touch base with them saying, like, are you still interested in, being part of the collection? If not, you're gonna have to find someone new, and that means advertising you know, the collection and all that stuff. And that's another thing too. Uh, the way you get here is not very clear. You can get here through the Nether, but definitely the best way is to just set a home here and just get here that way. And the players that you hire have to have Discord because there's a Discord server for the collection called The Archive, and it's owned by Alistair, which means you're going to have to talk to him to take over the Discord server for the collection. As the new owner, you'd have to definitely catch up on all the donations that have been piling up for years now. It'd be up to you if you want to continue this project. This is something that Dimensional Duck started. He wanted to create the largest map art on the server and just put it right here on the ceiling. I believe the full map art would be an image of like a galaxy or something. It's been so long, I can't even remember what the original image looks like. Yeah, let's take a look in the back. We're just going to ignore that. So over here, we have some stuff owned by other players, retired collection staff. What would you do with it? That's something you're going to have to figure out. Main storage. So this is all primarily going to be for expanding the current wings in the collection. It's going to be up to you to make sure this is all stocked up before you start up the collection again. Yeah. Lost corpse items. So this is actually a section for players that found items like kind of on the ground and then just forward it to the collection. So like, yeah. So like somebody found items, mountain. They died, at a mountain somewhere at these coordinates. Obviously, I feel like it's been way too long for someone to just, come pick up these items, claiming like, oh yeah, it's incredibly unrealistic for someone, to come to the collection of all places to, to pick up items for when they died at like a mountain at these exact coordinates. Like they'd have to somehow prove that, these items were theirs. And there's like all of this. Yeah, what would you do with these items? Would you try to find the owners of the items or would you keep it here? And would you keep it here forever like how it is right now? I mean, as it is, this is going to stay here until the server ends. I would think that would need changed. As the new owner, would you want to keep duplicate items? If you wanted to continue the mega map art, obviously going to keep this. But if you discontinued it and all these supplies are here, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. Are you going to take it for yourself? Are you going to distribute it across everyone? Are you going to like auction it off? So there's two hallways here. If you are current collection staff, you have your own office. And it was Dimensional Duck's thing to give an office to everyone and have them decorate it. So, like with mine, you can kind of see I have, you know, this. I have a little seat here for, you know, a guest. I kind of have it designed around my old swamp base on Simplex 1. I would update it, but there's no point, really. This head office was originally Dimensional Ducks. Obviously, it's Hello Cats now, despite them not being the owner. So this should be Alistair's, but it's not. He hasn't moved in yet. Although his office is actually inside of the library. So I guess it'd be kind of okay for him to, you know, keep his office in the library, especially if he wants to continue working there. But Hello Cat's office would obviously have to be emptied. Oh, the donations. Yeah, so all of the collection's donations would be here. And I mean all of them. So you'd have to go through this and, well, find out where everything goes. And the players that are assigned to, say, like the map art hall would go down there and pick out all of the map art and then put it into the map art wing. The collection. Now, if we go upstairs, on the top of this staircase would be the world map. The thing is, though, it only goes to this world's original world border at 10,824. Huh. This would obviously have to be expanded, and I guess it would be completely up to you if you want to keep the, well, what you see here. Would you want to update this? And if you did, how much help could you get? And how long do you think it would take to update all of this? Because it's been years since, well, this map has been updated. Of course, individual maps could be updated. In fact, it wasn't common, but you could have a player say, let me try to find a good example here. Yeah, let's say you have your base here and you want to update it. We would actually give you this map. You would go teleport to your base, update this, and then bring the map back, and we would put it back in, put the glass block on top, and that'd be done. Yeah. So you could do that. Instead of taking out every single one of these maps and re-exploring everything. I don't know. Totally up to you. What would you do as the new owner? A very undeveloped wing for the collection is the structure display. So if it's a generated structure such as igloos and, you know, desert wells, trial chambers, ancient cities, it would all go in this wing. Obviously, not every generated structure would be able to fit in here. Just like a small representation of it would do. But not all of them are here. So you'd have to find out, you know, which ones are missing and include the new ones as well. And don't get me started on the biome display. because this hasn't even started yet. Of course, they're labeled. Like, this is for the Badlands. This is for the Badlands Plateau, but again, it just hasn't been started. So I think that's it for, again, just to give you an idea of what it would take to update the in-game collection. And now let's switch over to the Discord server. So here is the collection's Discord server called the Archive. It is the out-of-game interface for the in-game collection. And you know what that means. Every single wing in the collection has its own channel. So, one for banners, map art, the library, player skulls, the zoo, maps, everything. Literally everything. But here at the About Us is basically the mission statement for the collection. Deleted user would be Dimensional Duck. We have announcements, and as you can see, last time it was posted was the 9th of June, 2021. Definitely been a while. Definitely been a while since Dimensional Duck has stepped down as well. And that would have been in 2021, near the start of the year. This Discord server has not seen significant activity in a very long time. The most recent activity is from me. There is a channel for Discord servers that are related to Simplex. I still keep up with this. I shared one for Pterodyne. It's a Simplex 1 town. But then there's this town on Simplex 2 Midgard by Tacky Randy. Then there's Boo's Place. Then there's the Simplex Interstate Infrastructure Guild, and it's Turagai's Sahara Go company Discord. Oh, it's actually grown since I last saw this. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you. This is the most recent activity that's been in here. At least that I've noticed. But there's also, of course, there's a staff chat. There's totals for like every single wing. So like the armory has 314 items in it. There's 218 banners. The library has 743 books, and so on. If they're the project chat is basically just a chat for the different wings. So for like the zoo, if the zoologist is like asking around for, I don't know, maybe they need help or something, then they talk in there. Or if someone like has a donation of wants to donate a mob to the collection or something that we don't have, they'd come here, I guess. Yeah, there's stuff for there's stuff for the item display, the mega map art and the armory. There's also a channel here for visitation. So the idea with this is if anyone visits the collection, we put it here. We put their name and we put the date that they joined or came to visit the collection. I think an alternative to this would be kind of like a guest book, where if you visit the collection, you have to sign a book. Go into like a book and say, you basically put your own credentials. You put your username and the date that you came to the collection. Just a document that you were there. So here we have the collector, Alistair. Just kind of showing that, he owns this Discord server. Yeah, all these players, you'd have to you'd have to see if, well, if they're still interested in the collection at all. But not only that, you would also, I mean, not only would you have to talk to Allie to get ownership of this Discord, but you'd have to start advertising this by sharing it in the primary Simplex Discord server. As you get new staff too, you'd have to update them with new roles. Any old staff, you'd have to, get rid of their roles and stuff like that. And maybe there are some permissions too that you'd have to like look over. And I mean, I would at least, like, if I became the new owner, I'd want to figure out, what all the different role stuff, because there is many of them. Many, many, many. So yeah, that is it. That's just an idea of what it would take to take over the collection. The requirements are definitely pretty high. Staff are, well, yeah, staff, Alistair, Cat, whoever, are looking for a very particular person. And honestly, I don't think anyone on Simplex 2 right now really has what it takes to become the new owner. But yet, server staff still have a claim, over the collection, because at least I like to think that they still have an interest in at least holding on to, the sensitive items in the collection, but also holding on to their history, at least preserving it, because the past has made the server what it is today. And I don't think server staff would want to assign ownership to someone that would want to destroy that. So that is all. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.